There's something truly fascinating about how differently people experience personal space. Some individuals absolutely love having guests. They feel alive when their home is full, cooking for others, hearing chatter in the background, watching their rooms fill with voices and warmth. But then there are people, maybe even you, who feel something completely opposite. The moment you hear someone's coming over, a small tension settles in your chest. Your mind starts racing. Where will they sit? Does everything look tidy enough? How long might they stay? And even though you greet them with a smile, welcome them kindly, make sure they're comfortable, internally, there's a quiet timer counting down, a part of you waiting for that moment when the door closes again and the silence returns. Not because you dislike people, but because your space holds meaning for you. For some, home isn't just a location, it's an energetic bubble, the one place where they can breathe fully, without performing, explaining, or entertaining. It's a private extension of their inner world, their rhythm, their stillness, their peace. So when someone enters that space, even someone you genuinely like, it can feel like a tiny intrusion. Not dramatic, not rude, just a subtle shift. The air feels different, the silence breaks, the freedom to be fully yourself softens a bit. That's why many people aren't fond of having guests. It's not because they're cold, it's because their home is their emotional charging station, the place they return to after facing everything outside. And letting someone step inside, even briefly, can feel like sharing a piece of their inner self they usually protect. There's actually a psychology behind this. In personality theory, people who value quiet and stability have a strong sense of territorial comfort. Their surroundings are tied to emotional security. Every object, every corner, every familiar sound is chosen intentionally. So when someone shows up, that sense of comfort shifts, not because the guest does anything wrong, but because their presence changes the natural flow. Picture your mind as a still pond, calm, clear. Then someone drops a pebble. The ripples aren't harmful, but they ripple. That's what guests do to an introverted person's inner calm. It's not rejection, it's sensitivity. Many also associate home with recovery. It's the only space where the mask comes off. Outside, they spend hours managing smiles, tone, energy, awareness. So when guests arrive, even friendly ones, they feel the need to put that mask back on. Suddenly they're monitoring impressions, comfort, conversation, timing. It becomes emotional work that stays invisible. For people who recharge through solitude, that's quietly tiring. They don't feel energized afterward, they feel drained. Not because anything went wrong, but because being open requires effort. Their home is the one place where they can simply be, and that's why they guard it so carefully. If you relate, you've probably noticed this in yourself. You're not rude when someone visits. In fact, you're likely an excellent host. You know how to make people feel welcomed, offer snacks, smile, listen. But once the door closes, a deep breath leaves your body. You clean up, you sit down, and suddenly the silence feels like fresh air again. That's when it hits you. It's not people you avoid, it's the noise, the energy shift, the need to be on. You can care deeply for people and still crave quiet. You can be warm-hearted and still prefer privacy. Both truths can exist at the same time. Psychologists say that people who protect their space usually have strong emotional boundaries. They don't build walls, they build balance. They know peace doesn't come from being alone constantly, but from returning to themselves at the right times. For them, home is a sanctuary, a small universe they can control in a world full of unpredictable energy. And when someone enters that universe, control shifts, even slightly. Even a close friend sitting on your sofa can change the atmosphere of the temperature of your inner calm. That's why these people often prefer meeting in cafes, parks, or other neutral places, spaces where energy is shared, not surrendered. There's another layer too. For some, home symbolizes vulnerability. It holds their habits, their moods, their imperfect corners. Letting someone step inside feels like revealing a hidden part of themselves, not because they have something to hide, but because they see intimacy as something meaningful, something earned. Their home isn't a showcase. It's who they are when the world isn't watching. So when someone crosses that doorway, it feels personal. Even if the visitor means well, that sensitivity isn't wrong, it's awareness, a deeper kind that values emotional safety over social obligation. Some people also grew up in environments where guests meant pressure cleaning, noise, comparison, expectations. So now, even the idea of having visitors triggers old stress. Others simply find joy in simplicity. Quiet mornings, familiar rhythms, moments without interruption. They don't need crowds to feel fulfilled. They feel connection in quiet, in stillness, in presence. If you resonate with this, you might sometimes feel guilty. Society says being social means being open, inviting, outgoing. So when you prefer keeping your home private, you might wonder if that makes you cold. But it doesn't. You can have a warm heart and still love a quiet home. You can cherish people and still love them from a comfortable distance. Protecting your space isn't antisocial itself. It's knowing what brings you peace and respecting it. That's not selfishness, that's emotional intelligence. From a psychological perspective, your desire to keep your home private isn't rejection, it's regulation. You're managing your energy, comfort, balance. And the people who truly understand you won't ever take that personally. In fact, they'll realize that when you invite them in, it means something huge because you don't open your door lightly. You open it with intention. There's a quiet strength in people who love solitude. They remind us that connection doesn't always require a crowd, that love doesn't always mean closeness, and that peace often lives in the sound of nothing. It's in your favorite corner, your warm mug of tea, the afternoon light on your floor, the silence that feels like a friend. That's home. That's comfort. And it's beautiful. So next time you feel uneasy about visitors, don't judge yourself. Don't force yourself to be more social than your soul can handle. You can still be kind, still be generous, and still protect your peace. Kindness doesn't demand constant access, it just requires sincerity. Maybe for you, the purest form of love is keeping your space calm. So when the world gets too loud, you have a place to return to. Are you like this too? Do you enjoy your personal space so much that guests, even ones you love, make you feel slightly unsettled? Do you feel whole in your own company? Not from loneliness, but from peace. If so, share your thoughts. I'd love to know how you preserve your space, what home means to you, and what solitude gives your spirit, because in the end, there's no single correct way to be social. There's only what feels true to your heart. Some fill their homes with people, others fill theirs with peace. Both are forms of love, just expressed in different languages.